Hello folks, welcome to a Walkie talkie. Now we're going to be talking about Andy Burnham. One thing I'll say is reassuring is nonces, rapists and groomers of children and people that feature in these kind of sting videos, they're not going to be getting released early. However, murderers, stalkers and people who have, like stab folk, they're getting out. I really do hope this gets booted into the long grass, because this puts a big broad range of society in danger, especially women, and another group, apparently the domestic violence perpetrators, could potentially get out early. Fuck no. I really hope, there is actually still a wee bit more consultation before it comes into place in October, right? Hopefully the people that surround him, and when I mean by consultation, it'll be consultation with his party, the Labour Party, Labour, whatever, right? Hopefully they say releasing these groups of people early will result in people dying. Hopefully so, but they're probably frothing at the mouth upon ways of freeing up the housing stock. That's every politician's wet dream, isn't it? Yeah. And Andy clearly hasn't been in a position such as a Prime Minister before, and he will probably be having to learn in real time rather than learn by example. And I hope the people who surround him are actually good and say, Andy, you can't let these people out, they're dangerous. They've got to see the full entirety of the term given to him and at the courtroom. Hopefully he does listen to a conversation similar to that. It's very unsettling to hear that, but again, remember, he's not been in for any more than a month. So maybe, you have a slight wobble, but given the correct amount of support, he may be good. And I tell you something, there's anything better than Keir Starmer. Keir Starmer is a vile bastard. Evil. Actually, I would say, on the gradient of evil Prime Ministers, First Minister, the most evil we've ever dealt with is Humza Useless. Right? He has destroyed Scottish free speech and distorted laws to suit only one demographic, right? And if you ever dare critique or say something about Humza or whatever, then you're going to get a knock on the door, aren't you? It's just, he is definitely level 1 for evil, to the point where he's ruined Scotland. Right? Keir Starmer is a close number 2. Right? Keir Starmer was actually an ex-proc fiscal type. There's an English translation for that one, you know, there's a different name for it. I think it's not cop FS. Never mind, right. But he let Jimmy Savile go 2 times over with serious sex crimes. And he let go apparently another 73. Did he ever get dealing with the gangs? Did he? Fuck. Did he help communities? No. He let the Jews get butchered and attacked. The crime rates are fucking like a hockey stick. Free speech got absolutely assassinated. So yeah, here is number 2. Who's number 3? I don't quite know. I'm thinking a lot of things on the cusp of my head. But yeah, that's what I wanted to say. Anyone who's watching these walkie-talkie videos, right, who is due to have met me anytime this week, right, got a slight issue. The closest people know the issue, you know, the card expired, travel card expired, and unfortunately it's a matter of getting posted through to me. That could take anything up to 10 calendar days, so I'm going to have to cancel any what you call social appointments until this card arrives. It's either that or have sky high transport costs, really. That's just the way things go. So basically it's just a matter, I've had to cancel everything. Anything that is not work related has been cancelled, just until the travel card gets back and grasp it. What happened was, whilst I was away in the Midlands, the card expired, and it expired last night, but I went to use it on the bus today, completely forgetting the date, right? And the guy took the card off us, and I says to him, can I get one of these passes that will last me 7 days? Until he went, no, you came on the bus with an invalid pass, and that is defined as fraud. Yeah, it's a Jobsworth little Polish guy. Yeah, I did say we're Polish because I'm Scottish. Yous are British. EU, USA, whatever. You know, it's just a description of where the person was from. There's absolutely nothing race related there. You know, but yeah, you know, it's describing a person like John Boggs from England. He's English. Jack Boggs, Scottish. Seamus Boggs, Irish. And you can tell by the tone, the voice, and the words that surround. There's absolutely nothing malice behind it. There we are. Can't believe I even have to say it on a day like this, but you know, the PC and the Ushi people, and the Ushi people go shushy shushy shushy, right? But yeah, and an interesting fact that I'd learned a few times over, right, and it's a slightly separate thing. If a first bus driver catches, you know, somebody using a card and it's maybe like a day out of date, right, they confiscate the card, and apparently that card equals £10 extra on their wages. But bearing in mind, these drivers are getting currently £16.80 an hour. Is that not good enough? Like, You don't need that extra £10. Like, that was just, I felt the guy came across a bit of a job's worth of, see, a compassionate driver would have says, right, your card expires yesterday, do you have your bank card, right? And I would have put the bank card on the machine, boop, done. But, you know, this is where there's been a lot of work going on over the last week here. Can't really see what it, I know it's electric related. Anyway, right. So yeah, I mean the thing is, like, it was not an act of fraud. It wasn't me trying to fair dodge. In fact, I've got a lot of money in the bank card that it could pay the journey over, let's say, about 8,000 times, right? So, and I come from a family that very strongly believes traditional British values, by the way, folks, right? Believes in paying, not dicking, right? We pay our way through life. We don't dick our way through lives and, you know, cheat the system. And very, very slightly felt off that driver, yeah. I'm trying to cheat the system. Well, if I was going to cheat the system, you know what? I would do it properly. If I was going to do it, I would go and do it good and proper to a real big company. You know, crack one of the servers. It contains money details and fucking rob silly. Right? Bear in mind, I'm just recently back from Midlands, so, you know, remembering about the expiry date on that card kind of was a bit of an afterthought because of obviously the travel I did, and then also the suitcases to unpack and stuff like that. So it generally was not a act of fraud or malfeasance. It was just, and you could tell as well. I mean, the card had expired 23:59 last night, and I tried to get on the bus at 10:43 this morning. So you can tell by the timestamps that was not an act of anything malice. It was just a slight misremembrance. And you know, if the guy just said, "Look, your card expired last night. Do you have your bank card?" That would have been fine. But the way things are, the way he took it, the way he spoke, made things awkward. But if that's what he wants to do, that's fine. I'm not going to moan about it. I have organised a new car. So anyway, folks, I'll catch you soon.